charging Wan and H all the way from 11th on the grid, maybe we just remind you once again. So yeah, absolutely cracking job, and if he can land himself on the podium again, well, it's the same top four as we had last time out in Global Series round 2.
Here we go, so we flick through the super quick turns 11, 12 and 13. That triple, the trio of right-handers, really will, at the end of the race, start to take a toll on that right-hand side of the tyre. You can see there with the onboard shots that we've got and the analysis of Ellie goes 5.5 rear tyre. Already, we've just, 3 laps now completed. The right-hand side of that rear tyre and on the front as well is significantly more deteriorated than the left-hand side of the tyre. There's going to have to be
closing down if he can only take kind of half a tenth here, half a tenth there.
Here we go then, flicking through Cavone with Davide Galinia still holding off the charging Sancho Queen. The rookie didn't have the greatest of Global Series events last time out. After an incredible showing at round 1 with races 1 and 2, he really slipped backwards in round 3. He was round 2, obviously at round 3 now, wasn't able to showcase the form that we saw, but he looks to be back to his best here. Does the Indonesian rookie. He's really putting Davide Galinia under all sorts of pressure, and with that little bit of a kiss that he gave him last time round, he's been given a warning for reckless riding, something that he's all too familiar with
yes.
After his contact with Andrew ZH. He's sewn up that 5th place finish, or 5th place provisional finish for now. Davide Galinia unable to respond, and already Sancho Queen has pulled out, what's that, 2-3 bike lengths over the Italian.
Yeah, certainly looks as though he might just have that 10th or 2 he needs to be able to close down Wan and H in 4th and launch himself into that podium battle. But speaking of a Yamaha making progress, there was one Yamaha that just popped up on your screen there. Trastevere actually set the fastest lap on the last lap of the race. I think it was a 27.8 that popped up, but he's all the way down in 10th. It's no good for him if he's going to have those crashes at the start of the race. It's completely ruined him. He may well have had the pace to even, fight for the podium or the win in this.
Looking backwards, because Sancho Queen was all over the rear wheel of the Red Bull KTM Tech 12. I'm sure we'll be looking at those two momentarily. Meanwhile, we're checking on the guys out front, and it still is Adrian. Looks unfazed, looks unflustered. He looks to be on course to yet another victory this year. Meanwhile, this is a little bit more feisty. The battle over 4th place. Sancho Queen has already got the better of Davide Galinia, and now he's set his attention on Wan and H as well. A great ride through the field. This is from the Petronas Yamaha SRT, man. This is exactly what we saw at round 1. These sort of performances in Mugello and Jerez is what grabbed everybody's attention, and he's back to his best here. He's the young Indonesian. Wan and H is in a bit of bother here because Sancho Queen is all over the rear wheel of the KTM, man.
Yeah, he's certainly going to be sweating a little bit, sat at home in his armchair.
Incredible, what a disaster for the Ducati, man.
Yeah, absolute nightmare. I can't believe it. Once again in 2020, we're questioning what's gone on with Trastevere and Andrew ZH. Andrew ZH, 2 crashes in this race, and that is massive for the championship. We know by now he's too far back to challenge for the title, but even just to retain some honour and finish in the top 5 or top 4, he's 5th at the moment, and he's got Wan and H just ahead of him, and Ellie goes 5.55, only 1
corner where you brake hard, but you don't need to sacrifice that 2 points. I mean, it's much better to focus to get the bike stable more than focus on the braking point. One of the critical points, the first hard braking point in the right corner, because you come from the last corner. On the left side, you have long straight, you have left, and then you arrive from the right side, where the tire in that side is too cold. About the suspension, we can say that circuit is one of the circuits where you go on the softer way. I mean, because you don't have hard braking point, and then you don't need to be stronger on the front side, and the rear you have to be a little bit stronger than the other circuit because you have a long corner.
Even with double points on offer.
Yeah, certainly, Jack. I think you've just absolutely summed it up perfectly. When there's milliseconds between the top guys and the guys at the back of the grid in MotoGP eSport, it's certainly going to be pretty impossible to claw back 39 points, even with double points on offer. As you look on your screen now, we do have the home race hero, Mr. TFTW, chasing down the man in front of him. Melly goes 5.55. Once again, a lot of body English going on. Melly goes for absolutely 0 from Mr. TFTW. Don't worry, his frame isn't frozen. That's just the way he races. But yeah, as we look back through him now, certainly he's coming down into Siberia now. He's definitely closing in just that little bit on Ellie goes 5.55. So we'll wonder if we can get that Ducati hooked up onto the straight corner on the next lap.
still a good performance coming in from Mr. TFTW there, as we're focusing on the man in second place at the moment. Christian, if anything, has lost touch from his brother. Adrian is away with it if things stay as they are. He's managed to just chip away once again, as we've seen so often this year. His metronomic out front is Jorge Lorenzo S. Smooth as butter is Williams Adrian. Never misses an apex, and is just able to eke out a bike length here, a bike length there, before all of a sudden, without anybody realising.
Now, Andrew ZH's title hopes, well, they're pretty much zero. It's a disaster for the Ducati man.
Well, that's it, the final nail in the coffin for the Bologna man. It was a dream, a fairy tale 2019 for him. Just 18 years of age, winning the MotoGP Esport Championship, the first one that Ducati had won in recent memory. And he was able to do it for his hometown factory as well. Brilliant scenes that we saw at the season finale in Valencia. We're not going to get those same scenes for Andrew ZH. If anything, it's the polar opposite at the moment. He's going to do well to finish inside the top 5 of the championship. It has been a 2020 to forget for Andrew ZH. The same could be said at the moment for our two-time champion Trastevere. He's not given in just yet though. This podium...
Yeah, cracking performance, but I think this is the most pressure he's had in the race now. Davide Galigna has clawed him in just a little bit. And you see Mr. TFTW went wide slightly at the Honda hairpin, but he put it back for a late apex. But MG seems to have got it all sorted up by now. These two can't be too slack though. They've got Sancho Queen just behind them, about a second further down the road. So no mistakes can be afforded if these two want to hold on to the top 6 finishing positions. It would be a solid result for the pair of them. Fantastic for Mr. TFTW, and certainly the fastest guy, if not the second fastest guy, if not the fastest. And certainly this year in this race, he's just had a couple of moments where he's maybe not been quite having a good session like you want to. Sometimes, you know, you hop on and you play these racing games and it can be very difficult to get in that groove, but it certainly seems he's refound it here in the 6th race of World Series, as Williams Adrian actually set the fastest lap on that last lap. So certainly showing no signs of tension or nervousness as we now come down to the final lap. And if he can maintain this, he's going to be 39 points ahead in the championship of his brother, Williams Christian. And Christian, he's got
better than ever in 2021, that can be assured. Of course, all of these guys, it's not assured that they will be on the Global Series grid in 2021. As with every year, they have to go through the qualification process with the pace that they show year in, year out. I'm sure they will be there because these are the best men in the world. However, it's not absolutely confirmed that we'll see Williams Adrian on the grid next year. He has to go through and make sure that he qualifies for it like everybody else, but he can show the pace that he has done, especially over one lap where it has been far and away the best man on the grid so far this year. We will see him back. I am absolutely guaranteed of that, and I'm sure that KTM will be wanting to sign him up full time as well. At the moment, he was Suzuki last year, KTM this year. He's not really found a home as of yet, so winning the championship can always go a long way towards getting a contract signed, and I'm sure KTM, who have made huge leaps and bounds in MotoGP World Championship full stop this year, it's a nice little cherry on the cake to have themselves their first ever MotoGP Championship kind of in the Esport horizon, of course, with Williams Adrian.
Yeah, for sure. It at least ties their name in MotoGP to some success on the championship level. And of course, I just want to echo the sentiment once again.
Day in Silverstone, because he was in contention for another podium finish there, and with Williams Christian finishing where he did, he was rallying with a shout of possibly finishing inside the top 3, and of course, he win prizes in the MotoGP World Championship all the way down to 3rd, so he may feel like he's missed out